Welcome to 6 Space VMS T Initiation and Exposure classes. We are in phase 2. In phase 2, we are at step 4. It is Surya Tej. Sadhkas, students, teachers, and scholars are welcome. Let us open a new page in our 6 Space VMS T notebook. Let us mention it that today we are initiating ourselves, we are exposing ourselves to the capture Surya Tej. Surya Tej is a formulation, and it is this formulation in terms of which we will try to have an insight about the features of 6 Space VMS T. In step 1, we had the introductory features. Then in step 2, we had 6 Space content flow features. In step 3, we have been initiating and exposing ourselves to 6-dimensional frame. In phase 1, our focus has been upon Hypercube 6 format. This Hypercube 6 format as such is focusing as a fourfold manifestation layer, and 6 Space as such here is in the role of a domain. It is 6 Space content which is manifesting as a domain fold. Therefore, it is this essential format in terms of which we have been initiating and exposing ourselves. Now, 6 Space content as a domain fold would mean that this 6 Space as a domain will be accepting its swapping in terms of a Sthapatya mirroring rod consisting of interval, square, cube, Hypercube 4, Hypercube 5, and Hypercube 6. Means 1 space to 6 space bodies together synthesized as a Sthapatya mirroring rod. It is in terms of this mirroring rod that we can swap the domain fold. It is this feature that it is making a setup of interval, a value 1, a square, a value 2, cube, a value 3, Hypercube 4, value 4, Hypercube 5, value 5, Hypercube 6, value 6. This range of values, this array of values lead to the summation value is equal to 21. Let us visit the formulation Brahmi. Formulation Brahmi is leading us to TC value 21. Therefore, the 6 Space as domain which permits its swapping in terms of hypercubes 1 to 6 synthesizing together as a Sthapatya mirroring rod. Therefore, in terms of this Sthapatya mirroring rod, we will be having a format of a value 21, a single dimension, pair of dimensions, triple dimensions, quadruple dimensions, penta number of dimensions, and hexa number of dimensions. Further, we know that these dimensions are in fact the creative dimensions, as 4 Space is playing the role of a dimension. Therefore, single dimension of value 4, pair of dimensions of value 4, triple dimensions of value 4, quadruple dimensions of value 4, penta dimensions of value 4 each, and hexa dimensions of value 4 each. Therefore, it is a single creative dimension. Here is a pair of creative dimensions. Then there are triple creative dimensions, quadruple creative dimensions, and penta creative dimensions, and ultimately we are having hexa number of creative dimensions. Now, 4 space itself we know is a spatial order. Space means quadruple spatial dimensions or constituting, synthesizing the dimensional frame of 4 space. This creative dimension itself is having a dimensional frame which is of value 2 raised to power 4. Brahmi Yantra. Let us make a note. Today we are initiating ourselves and are exposing ourselves to the Brahmi Yantra. Brahmi Yantra means a value 6, 21 and 16. 16 is the value which is parallel to the value of the dimensional frame of creators of space. 4 space is having dimensional frame of value 2 raised to power 4. Further, we know that the 6 space domain accepts a Sthapatya Meyring rod synthesized by interval, square, cube, hypercube 4, hypercube 5 and hypercube 6. These representative regular bodies of 1 space to 6 space together synthesize a Meyring rod. It is in terms of this Meyring rod that this 6 space domain is swapped. This 6 space domain is swapped in terms of a Sthapatya Meyring rod synthesized by hypercubes 1 to 6. Further, 6 space is having 4 space in the role of a dimension. As such, the format of a Sthapatya Meyring rod as it is taking us to as many as 21 creative dimensions. 4 space as a dimension and 21 dimensions in all will be available to us along this format of a Sthapatya Meyring rod. It is this as a yantra. Along it we have to see the 6 space body 4, 5, 6 and 7. It is of summation value 22. We know these 22 points. When we are having 22 points, say, then the gaps will be 21. The n points lead to a setup of n minus 1 gaps. The setup of arrangement of array of 22 points. This hypercube 6 as 4, 5, 6, 7 will lead to value 22. Therefore, the array of values 1 to 22 will be leading us to 21 gaps. These 21 gaps are being bridged. The gaps, these 21 gaps are being processed and these are being bridged. This bridging of 21 gaps is in terms of 21 creative dimensions. These 21 creative dimensions are being availed as Brahmi, and as there are quadruple spatial dimensions in each dimensions. Therefore, this Brahmi Yantra as it is of these features. Let us sit comfortably. Let us permit the transcending mind to be face to face with these features and these values of Brahmi Yantra. Brahmi Yantra is a yantra in terms of which the 21 gaps of the setup of fourfold manifestation layer are being processed, being worked out, being changed by bridging these gaps. These gaps, 21 in number, are being bridged with the help of 21 creative dimensions. These 21 creative dimensions are availing the format of Sthapatya miring rod synthesized by hypercubes 1 to hypercube 6. It is this feature which will help us further appreciate that each creative dimension is giving us a value of 2 raised to power 4. Therefore, it is as many as 21 multiplied by 16 means 336 is the value. There are as many as 326 values available with us in terms of which we have to bridge the gaps of this fourfold manifestation layer to have the full expression of the full range of complete structure of the features of Sthapatya miring rod. Now let us see that this 6 space is accepting 13 geometries range. 6 space is having 13 geometries range. This value 13 is equal to the TCB value of formulation Surya. Our sun Surya is of range which comes to be 13. There is 13 geometries range which is available as the different expressions of 6 space domain. This 6 space domain as a fourfold manifestation layer of 21 gaps permitting bridging in terms of 21 creative dimensions with each dimension itself of a dimensional phrase 2 raised to power 4. Now this setup as such is taking us to the -6 to +6 signatures range. These 13 geometries are accepting 13 versions of hypercube 6 as representative regular bodies of this thing. Therefore, there are as many as 13 versions of hypercube 6. This 6 space domain is available to us in 13 versions. These 13 versions are the representative regular bodies of 13 geometries range of 6 space. We are now attempting to be face to face with 6 space VMS T. 6 space VMS T is a mathematics, sciences and technologies of a 6 space. 6 space is a space superimposed with a dimensional frame of 6 dimensions. It is this superimposition of the space which makes it a 6 space. We are trying to be face to face with the mathematics, sciences and technologies of 6 space. Therefore, when we are trying to be face to face with 6 space VMST, that means we have to be face to face with the 13 versions of hypercube 6, which is the representative regular body of a 6 space. Therefore, the Surya, the sun, as a body of the format of hypercube 6 will be providing us a setup, a range of its manifestation as of 13 geometries range. Now let us have a pause here and take note that this 13 geometries range as 13 points will be giving us as many as 12 gaps. Now this that way will make a setup of 25. So 13 points as 13 geometries range of 6 space, and there are 12 gaps, and these 12 gaps then will make this setup of 13 points add together with the 12 points as of a value 25. It is this value 25 which makes a Sangya, means simple translation is noun. All the nouns, all the names which we can have in our solar universe, means of the 6 space body, those will be of value 25. Further we know that the hypercube 6 is a formulation a raised to power 6 is to 12 b raised to power 5. It would mean that 6 space is having a transcendental boundary of 12 components. And further we know that hypercube 12 is of 25 versions. As such, when we are at hypercube 6 as a body of a 6 space, then from here we'll be reaching at H12 in terms of the 12 components, transcendental boundary components, and it will be of 25 versions. Hypercube 6 is of 13 versions, while hypercube 12 is leading to 25 versions. Therefore, let us make a note that this Surya as a 6 space body as hypercube 6 is of 13 versions. These 13 versions are the 13 representative regular bodies of 13 geometries of 6 space. Further as that, this setup of 13 points with 12 gaps will lead us to value 25, which is equal to TCV value of formulation Sangya, means a noun, means all the names will be 25, and 25 we know equal to 25 versions of hypercube 12, and we know 6 space as a domain is having 12 boundary components. It is this relationship which deserves to be imbibed well. Let us make a detailed note in our notebook about the formulation Surya and Sangya, values 13 and 25, hypercube 6 and hypercube 12, a raised to power 6 to 12, b raised to 5 relationship of domain boundary components of 6 space. After making this note, now let us proceed a step ahead. Let us make a mention of a formulation Chaya. It is of value 8. We know this value 8 is equal to value of TCV value of Akash, space. The Akash is of value 8. Therefore, Surya in a space, makes it value 30 plus 8 is equal to 21. Therefore, Surya Akash as Surya Chaya is leading us to value 21, and it takes us back to the availability of 21 gaps of the formulation fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 6. Therefore, this concept of a Chaya, which simply would mean shadow, it is this concept, it is this formulation will further bring us face to face with that 6 space as a dimension is having 8 space as a domain. It is this relationship of value 6 with value 8, and further it is this value as that when we will be having a pair, say if we have a value 6 for n, then pair of dimensions will lead to value 8. Therefore, the chaya is again a concept of Akash reach. 6 space will reach this space, 6 space will reach this space, and it is this reach which in fact would be synthesis of a pair of dimensions of order 6. It is here where we shall have a pause and let us sit comfortably. Let us permit the mind to be face to face with this phenomenon, and these features shall be comprehended well. Now let us reach at the another formulation, Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is the formulation which is of value 34, and value 34 is the value which is of the 7, 8, 9 and 10. It is a fourfold manifestation layer with 7 space in the role of a dimension and 9 space as a domain. It is H9, hypercube 9. Therefore, the formulation Vishwakarma is the formulation which is of value 34, and 34 accepts organization 7, 8, 9, 10. It is parallel to fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 9. We were at hypercube 6, so 6 space as dimension has given us value 30 and 34. So from 6 space as dimension to 7 space as a dimension will take us to value 34. Let us have a pause. Let us make a note as that we are trying to comprehend the values and features of 6 space VMS T. 6 space is a space which accepts 4 space as a dimension. Therefore, it gives us a value 6 into 4 is equal to 24, which is parallel to TC value of a Purusha. Therefore, when we will see that Sangya, which is of value 25, is having 24 gaps. Therefore, the gaps of Sangya is a 24, which is parallel to the TCV value of formulation Purusha. It is further parallel to the value of the dimensional frame of 6 creative dimensions of 6 space. These are the features which deserve to be comprehended well. In the light of these, let us now take up the formulation Surya Tej. Formulation to Surya Tej. This formulation Surya Tej is the point of initiation exposure today. Formulation Surya Tej, a formulation Surya Tej. So Surya is having TC value 13, Tej is having TC value 15. It takes us to value 28, and this value 28 is the value of Brahm. Wonderful thing. Surya means a 6 space body, 6 space setup, and it says Surya Tej takes to value 28. 6 is the first perfect number, while 28 is the second perfect number. Therefore, the concept of Surya Tej is the concept in terms of which we will be having transition and transformation from the mathematics, science, technologies of first perfect number to mathematics and technologies of the second perfect number. It is this reach will help us appreciate that value 28 accepts organization 1, 2, 4, 7 and 14, which are the proper divisors. The proper divisors of 28 are 5 in number and their summation value is 28. However, the product value of these 5 numbers is 784. Let us have a pause here. A very beautiful state that we are reaching at 784, which as a dimension will be taking us to value 786. Wonderful reach, excellent reach, beautiful enlightenment, brilliant state. One shall sit comfortably and have a proper comprehension of this wonderful number, this excellent number, this enlightenment, as that transition and transformation from first perfect number 6, that is from Surya, to second perfect number 28, that is to Brahm. Therefore, in terms of Surya Tej, we are attaining transition and transformation from Surya to Brahm. This is all what sadhakas are urging for. This is all what for we are aspiring. And then further we know that if we have a triple dimensions, maybe of any order, then the synthesis of triple dimension is always leading to the value 6. See, when we are having the triple dimensions, then it again takes us back to 6. Now it is this cyclic reach which always keeps us within the solar universe, which always keeps us in this cyclic format. How to transcend from here? To transcend from here would mean we have to go to the fourth dimension. So it is at here where for each n, 2n is the depreciation. So it is here where will be a deficiency of value 2. It is this deficiency which, when is compensated as dimension, it takes us to 786. One shall sit comfortably and one shall again have a revisit to all these values and features as to how the Vedic systems are working out the 6-space. 6-space content, 6-space as a domain. When this 6-space as a content lump manifesting as a domain fold of hypercube 6, then we have seen yesterday that the synthesis value of the 6 creative dimensions is leading us to value -6. It is here where we have to be very, very sensitive. Let us be very, very gently, sequentially wait for a reach of these values and features and this happening. Now see how the value 786 on the one hand, when we transcend from the setup of the triple threefold setups to the quadruple setup, what it means when we are transcending from a solid order to the creative order, then we see we are trapped in the value 6, 6 and 6, and here we have a reach at value 7, 8 and 6. The difference value is 120, and it is this difference value of 120 which makes 120 years a cycle of our existence phenomenon. And it is this feature, it is this reach, it is this value which deserves to be comprehended well for its complete appreciation, as that it is the reach of the Vedic systems. It is the end fruit value of 6-phase VMS T. The end fruit value of 6-phase VMS T is that the existence phenomenon within human frame, that means our existence phenomenon of our existence within human body, is a phenomenon of 120 years cycle. It is this 120 years cycle which will help us appreciate that this value 120 is the value accepting an organization 10 into 12. That means when we are having a raised to power 6 is to 12 b raised to power 5, means the 6-phase body is having a transcendental boundary of 12 components, and each 5-phase domain is having 10 creative components. Therefore, in all, there are going to be 120 creative components. So, 120 creative domains will be providing a complete enveloping of the existence phenomenon of 6-phase within 4-phase. So 4-phase as dimension of 6-phase is creating a cyclic order of 120 years. Let us be blissful with this end reach of Vedic systems of 6-place value system. Now, further we know that 4-space is having 9 geometries range, and also we know that 6-space as dimension is taking us to 9-space as an origin. Therefore, these features which are simultaneously available in the 6-space VMS T setup, therefore let us have tabulation of the formulations of 9 steps of synthesis of single, double, triple, quadruple, penta, hexa, hepta, and octa and nina. These 9 steps synthesis values are to be reached at. The formulation is n plus 2, 6, 12 minus 2n, 20 minus 5n, 30 minus 9n, 42 minus 14n, 56 minus 20n, 72 minus 27, 29n. Now, with this formulation, we will be now reaching at the 120 years cycle set up as a periodic table. The present day reach at the periodic table as it is deserves to be updated, deserves to be modified, deserves to be made parallel to the Vedic systems. Therefore, for it we have to reach back and go to the shelter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and this scripture as it is will be sequentially taking us to its central zone. This is the study zone of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and it is here where we know that we will be having 700 shlokas range, and the 700 shlokas range as such we know will be taking us in its 5th fold at value 18, and we will be getting this. It is here when we know it will be having 350 plus 350, but we know that chapters 1 to 9 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita are having 372 shlokas, while chapters 10 to 18 are having values 328. See, here is the addition of value 22, while here is the subtraction of value minus 22. It is nothing but 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7, which is the fourfold manifestation layer of hypercube 6, and here it is the manifestation of 4, 5, 6 and 7 of minus 6 space, and it is going to be of minus hypercube 6. It is this feature, it is this format, it is this working rule, it is this reach, it is this comprehension which deserves to be imbibed well. Let us imbibe well all these features, and for it let us have a sequential reach. Therefore, the students of Vedic mathematics, science and technology, when reach at all these features, then one shall revisit, one shall read the original text of Vishnu Puran, and the original text of Vishnu Puran when will be taking us to a expression, and it is this expression which is in the narrative form. The achievement of Vedic systems is that they have made mathematics as a speaking language. Now, in this speaking language, they are narrating these subtle issues in a story form. There it is successful to make it a story form, as a 6-space content is being chased as a Purusha, a body. Therefore, when we are within a Purusha format, when we are providing a human body format, then it becomes a story. Now, here it is expressed that Surya is having 2 wives. First wife is a Sangya, second wife is Chaya. Sangya is a daughter of Vishwakarma. Now the Tej of Surya was unbearable for the Sangya. For all the nouns which we have are not in a position, are not having the potentialities in terms of which we can have exhaustive expression for the full potentialities of a Surya Tej. Therefore, the Sanjya had replaced itself by a Chaya, a shadow. And the fact when had come to the knowledge of Vishwakarma, the father of Sanjya, then Vishwakarma had created a Bharmi Yantra, and along Bharmi Yantra, the Tej of Surya was regulated, formulated, channelized in such a way that only 7 of the 8 parts remained intact, while the 8th part of the Tej was shelved. It is in terms of the 8th part of the Surya Tej that entire technologies on earth, entire needs all on earth, the entire existence of phenomenon all on the earth as such stood regulated in terms of the 1/8th Tej of a Surya. We know that 8 is the value, synthesis value of a pair of self-referral dimensions. Pair of dimensions of order 6 are having synthesis value 8. So out of these 8 values, one value, 1/8th part of it, is being utilized here for the entire existence phenomenon needs. Therefore, from tomorrow, we shall be taking up this aspect of how Vishwakarma had channelized the Surya Tej by utilizing Bharmi Yantra, and in terms thereof there has been structuring of a Vishnu Chakra, Shiv Trishul, and all other weapons and weaponry of the Devas. Thank you very much.